All right, there. Welcome back to the next stage of this illustration for the Dave Matthews Laminate project. So I've sketched all this out, which we did in the previous section in Corel Painter. So now I have brought this over to Illustrator, where I'm placing the image into Illustrator, and which is what I have right here. And for this phase, I'm going to be vectorizing basically all the line work with the pen tool in Illustrator. I'm not the best Adobe Illustrator user, but I kind of get by as best I can. But so I had this right here, so I'm going to put the opacity back a good bit so I can draw on top of it with the pen tool in Illustrator. So I've already done all the vectoring because that would be very tedious for you to watch me do that. But I'm just using basically the pen tool to do all the line work, and it's all like I wanted to use a vector line work because I wanted it to be just a really smooth, more of a precise, straight curves, straights and nice smooth curves for this image, for this illustration design. So here, like first, I'm using layers over here, which is it's a great thing to do because you can move things around if you need to. So I'm doing each figure on a different layer. So I have Willie here, which is, so I vector tooled Willie. I'm using, like I said, just a basic, this monoline type of approach to this for the most part. I'm using a smaller line where I need to have more detail, just a thinner line in here. And you can also see how crisp it is. I love the vector line because it is so clean and precise. It's kind of the aesthetic that I wanted to go for this image. So I have Willie done, and using layers, I can move him around if I need to. So maybe the project will dictate that I rearrange stuff a little bit, here and there. So I have Willie there, then I have the Paul Bunyan, and you can see where my image moved. I moved my pencil over a little bit because I needed to move things over a little bit for one part of this illustration. So I'll line it back up for you. So there's Paul, and I'm just doing each little character by himself. I have them all labeled here. I actually labeled my layers for a change. It makes it a lot easier. The bunny guy, creature, and then on up the line, or down the line, fisherman, Sasquatch, the bear, lighthouse, alien, engineer, we go back to the sun, the ant, and the hippie. So those are my main characters, and like I said, they are all of them are in different layers, so I can tweak them and move them around if I want to, or if I want to redraw the particular character, I can just take the layer off and work on that layer without affecting or selecting other images accidentally. I can lock those layers down. So I have all this, then I have my foliage layer, which is basically all the small little tidbits around them that aren't characters. So you can see how that kind of, and if I take away my pencil drawing, you can see it a little more clearly. So things are shaping up nicely. Some of this, as I mentioned before, some of the background especially will change a little bit as I color it. I really don't, I know how I'm gonna color the figures and stuff, but how they are interact with the background, I'll have to kind of work that out as I color it in the next stage. But so you can see basically everything's done. There are some areas in here where I just don't know how I want to do that. Maybe I want this to be a solid dark background behind all this stuff. then maybe it'll be easy for me to have it filled in with the color, a black or a dark color, than just sketch in to knock out the flowers and the foliage out of that, instead of having flowers already in here as line work. So yeah, a lot of this stuff will have to work it out as I color it. But as far as the main drawing, all the main drawing and all the figures are pretty much finished, and I'll be able to tweak stuff if I need to in Corel Painter with the pen tool. For example, like I'm not drawing in the octopus's suction cups. I don't need to vector that. I can just erase those out in the Painter program with the pen tool. It'll be easier to brush those and erase them with the like an eraser brush. So this is this face Illustrator, and what I'll do here is I'll save this Illustrator file. I'll export it as a PSD file, and then I'll open it up in Photoshop, and it'll retain all the layers for me. So when I bring it into Photoshop, it'll have all the layers, and therefore once it's a Photoshop document, I can open it up in Corel Painter, and it'll retain all the layers, and I can edit in there as I need to as well. So it's very tedious, but it's worth it. I really wanted a certain look to this that I've done before. I think it was appropriate for my vision, and as far as just exporting it, and then it'll all be colored in the Corel Painter. All the coloring will be done in there, and so that'll be the next phase. See you soon.